Well, joining us now from his home in Abuja, the Nigerian capital, is Major General Muhammadu Buhari. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us here at Aljazeera. Can I start by asking you what your reaction is to the announcement of a 6-week delay to the elections? They're now scheduled for the end of March.
Well, my reaction is that of extreme disappointment because as the National Council of States, the chairman of INEC, Independent Nigerian Electoral Commission, gave a detailed brief of their activities from 2011, that's from the last general election to then. And they clearly said, or he said, that they are ready to hold the election.
Now, you've called this decision to delay the election provocative. What do you mean?
Well, because there is no need for it. If the same military cannot secure 14 local governments out of 774 in 6 years, how can we be sure they can secure those 14 local governments in 6 weeks?
But the Election Commission seems confident that this 6-week window will allow for the particularly vulnerable areas in the northeast to become calm. And also there is the international force made up of Nigeria plus some of its neighbours who are prepared to launch an offensive against Boko Haram operatives in order to calm the security situation in the northeast.
Well, I believe Nigerians are grateful to our neighbors that have eventually agreed to come and salvage our country for us, for good neighborliness, so that they too are not threatened by the instability from here, from Nigeria. But the bottom line, as far as informed Nigerians are concerned, is the massive corruption in government. Where is the vote for weapons, for the military, for the police, and the training money is going to?
Can we talk about this a little bit more later on? But can I just get you to stick to this new window, this 6-week window? What sort of effect is this going to have on your own election campaign? Can you afford it?
We have to afford it because appropriate constitutional authority was quoted that up to 30 days to the election, days can be adjusted. So that gives it whatever plausible credibility they need. That is the INEC. So we are going to appeal to our supporters to give INEC the chance and reach the maximum allowed by the Constitution, that 30 minutes or 30 days to the swearing in of the new government, central government, elections must be conducted. So there is no more room for maneuver as far as we are concerned.
You seem rather sceptical as to the reasons given by the Electoral Commission for the delay. What do you think the real purpose or the real cause of this delay? Why do you think the Election Commission has called for a 6-week postponement?
Since the constitutional provision is met, we cannot fight with it. But I hope the military and INEC and the ruling party will accept that this is the limit. We do not expect INEC to say they cannot conduct the election after 6 weeks. In any case, the documents they briefed the council, the National Council of State, is that they are ready to conduct the election. Now, if they are forced by the military, for whatever reason, to consider additional 6 months before the election starts, well, that has been accommodated by the Constitution as explained. and we are going to abide by that. And we will ask our supporters to remain calm and be prepared to participate in the election on the 28th of March and 11th of April, respectively.
Can we talk now a little more about the security situation? With 132,000 active frontline personnel, why can't the Nigerian military take on and win this battle with Boko Haram?
Well, the government is not prepared to fight Boko Haram. I made a statement earlier on, which some of the Nigerian press published. The troops deployed in Ekiti State, where we believe we were rigged out, if we deployed in the northeast, they could have at least rescued our over 220 guards, which were removed by the rebels or the so-called Boko Haram. They know where they are, and whether they have the capacity to rescue them or not. They still can't give a cohesive reason why the Nigerian government was unable to rescue these children from the hand of the insurgents.
Are you suggesting that the state of insecurity and the vulnerability of the three northeastern states in particular, of course, from where many of your supporters come from, do you suggest then that this state of affairs actually suits the government and that the government is almost encouraging it?
I have no evidence, firm evidence, that the government is encouraging it. But the government has failed to do its principal duty of protecting life or property of all beings inside its territory in Nigeria. And what happened, as I said, in Ekiti and Oshun, the number of military, police, other law enforcement agencies deployed to rig elections in favor of the ruling party, if those were effectively used in the northeast, the end of the insurgency could have been met.
Now you have
and
vowed...
what I'm saying, the bottom line is that the government is not serious about curbing the insurgency in the northeast.
You have vowed to make security one of your first priorities should you come to office. How will you go about it?
Well, firstly is to understand why the military from Burma in 1945 to Zaire, Democratic Republic of the Congo in 1960, to Liberia, to Sierra Leone, to Darfur, Nigerian military earned the respect of the international community. But now here they are, they cannot secure 14 local governments in their own territory. People can hardly comprehend this slide, how we deteriorated, and that our neighbors, that everybody know, they too know that we can help them, are now the ones that are fighting these insurgents for us.
This is embarrassing. It's embarrassing, would you say?
Extremely embarrassing.
Can I ask you, as a military man, we know where the Chibok girls are. They're in the Sambisa forest, admittedly a very large place bordering Cameroon. If you were to become president, what would you do to get those girls back and to assure other girls and young women, particularly in the northeast of the country, that they can resume their studies in safety?
I didn't know what effort the government has done so far. Whatever effort it is, it wasn't good enough until the neighboring countries were constrained in their own interest to start coming into even Nigerian territory to fight Boko Haram to secure their own territories. What I expected much earlier on, this thing has been on for more than 5 years, was the Nigerian government to initiate a high security coordinated meetings and action with Cameroon, Niger and Chad. Instead, literally, the rebels were allowed to operate how they like, where they like, by starving the military of weapons and leadership.
So how would you reverse this?
International proportion.
If you were to get to Aso Rock...
Yes, well, we can reverse it, but if we get there, and God willing we shall, is to see